was in 1992. I was actually thinking of, what to do with my life. The previous year I graduated from university with a degree in sociology, and it was a time when lots of events were taking place in the former space of the former USSR. I mean, the Soviet Union fell apart in December of 1991, and immediately many areas of that geographical region started experiencing various hardships, including tensions and conflict and violence between different groups. And so I just had this personal motivation to try to do something constructive in this kind of environment. So I started going to areas of conflict and trying to see if I can be, if there's anything constructive that I can do. And I also, once I started, I met like-minded people that had the same approach. So we started going, and wherever we went, we always would find an area where civil society activists had a role to do. I've been to many different areas of conflict in the post-Soviet states. And the events in Ukraine, while they did in many ways resemble things that I've seen in other areas, they also had they were very different in one particular way. In most other cases, in fact, in all other cases, you probably could see the conflict coming. It wasn't always possible to predict whether the conflict would turn violent or not, what the consequences would be, but you could see the conflict coming because the drivers of the conflict were internal. In Ukraine, external influence was a driver of the escalation of the conflict. While there definitely was an internal dimension to it, and there were serious internal tensions, they would never rise to the level that they rose to had it not been for this constant external influence. And that was something that was very hard to predict. I think this was a test for our network, and I think that overall the network did pass this test. I think that the first thing that the network did is it demonstrated that there is a level of mutual support, and it opened up the possibilities for people, even though they had to leave their homes, they had to leave their previous lives, but they were able to find a place and to continue basically the same work they were doing, which is, of course, a rare exception. Few IDPs had this opportunity. Some of our network members were able to fairly soon develop large project proposals that got support. The network was instrumental in the fact that there was a level of coordination between these projects. So when they would be working in one area, they would cooperate rather than compete, and various initiatives, local initiatives that were supported by these projects, they could be supported for a while by one project, then by another, and so forth. So in that sense, the network was, I think, very important. I think that GPPAC is, in a sense, it's something that had to probably develop much earlier, because there have been conflicts all around the world. There never really was a network of civil society peace-building activists as such. It was always some particular aspect related to this, but more focused. But I felt that there was a need for that, and I'm very glad that GPPAC exists, and that I think it covers this gap. It really, it's not that we're just about this theme. We're about civil society organizations that are trying to work in the field of peace building in their relevant context.